Welcome back, this is Sim, and we're still playing the BloodnBones mod pack. There have been a few changes since I last played. The biggest one is the mod pack's updated to 1.13, and that's actually involves some new ore gen. I was supposed to regenerate the world, start a new world, and I'm not really ready to do that yet because there is apparently a 1.2 version of the pack coming out, and that's almost going to be guaranteed to require the same restart. So I've decided to stick with this for the time being until 1.2 comes out, and then depending upon how we're going, we may take the knowledge that we've gathered so far and reset and see how we go. Now, right now, my main focus is trees and just the most basic resources, stone and gravel. So what I'm doing is during the night I'm mining, and during the day I'm chopping down trees. The sun's just come up, but it started raining now, which has not helped a great deal. So I'm not really going to be able to go outside today. I'll go back down into the mines. However, one of the issues is the torches. The torch recipe is painful, to say the least. Standard torches you can make with coal and charcoal, but charcoal and coal only give you very limited amounts, and charcoal you can't make in a furnace the regular way. You need compressed sawdust, which at the moment I don't think I've got the ability to make. The best value you can get is with coal and glue or rubber and 4 sticks to get 4 torches. And I do have some rubber, but I don't have much in the way of coal, so it's making mining particularly difficult because I can't get the area lit up. Now, as part of the update, the light levels have reset back down to basic, so it gets ultra dark. If you have a look at the screen here, you'll see that under video settings brightness is set to something stupid, and I know that that's one of the mechanics of the mod pack, but at the end of the day, mobs are going to spawn based upon the light level, not how bright it is in the game, and I'd rather you guys can see what's going on then roam around in the almost pitch black as soon as it starts to get slightly dark. It's just frustrating. If I was playing it by myself, then maybe I'd let it stay like that. But for now, I'll continue with it, but I'm probably going to tweak the config file fairly soon and set the brightness back to a decent enough level for recording. The reason I've decided to pop back, even though all I'm doing is chopping trees and mining stone, is that while I was mining, my pickaxe has leveled up. So currently the level on my pickaxe is mining level copper, and I've actually got a couple of bits of copper up, which means we can start to move into the materials. But the biggest point is that I have a skeleton skull, and the skeleton skull is going to allow me, as far as I'm aware, to upgrade this pickaxe. So it's been repaired up to full, and that doesn't work. Okay, I thought that would allow me use on a pickaxe up to copper level. Pickaxe booster +1. So this is a copper level pickaxe. I'm not sure. Maybe it's because I've automatically boosted it anyway. I'm assuming it won't work on a hatchet. No, of course not. So, well, maybe that was just a waste. But anyway, we'll continue to work our way through here and see how we go. That's a little bit of a downer. Let's throw this crap back in here for now. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to head back downstairs while it's raining, and I'm just going to continue to do some digging and mining. and I'll come back when things are a little bit more interesting. See you soon. So, Houston, we have a problem. I updated the mod pack, and I'm not sure whether this is a result of the update or something else that's gone wrong. I'll show you guys what this is all about soon enough. We've got a more serious issue to worry about right now though. So we're going to go for a quick walk. Oh, hello. And I'll show you what the problem is. Let's just flick this mini map over. That's a bit better. There's been a little bit happening since we spoke a few minutes ago, and I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to progress from here. Come on, let's move. Basically, I'm in a bit of a pickle, and I'm not sure whether I should continue on as things are from here, or whether I should restart right from the very beginning, or maybe just simply move away from this area. But here we go. Now you can see what I'm talking about. So we've got some chunk issues, and I'm not sure why. The update that I took, which took it to 1.1.3, which was the latest version, was supposed to fix some ore generation, but it didn't actually mention this. I did not expect this. What I expected is that the ore generation that I previously had would stay the way it was, and it would change. But it's actually changed the world. It needs a world reset, and that's a bit of a bother. Now the thing is, it's not horrifically bad. If we go around this way, when we get away from the borders themselves, where it actually meets up, it's not this bad all the way around. On some sides it's a lot worse than others. So I'll just quickly run across here. I can afford to run because I've got a decent amount of food, and I'll go into that as well. I'm gonna have to eat something though to So you can see that break there stops, and it's really quite odd. I would have expected a very clear break line all around the loaded chunks, but it doesn't quite seem to have gone that way, which makes me wonder just a little bit. But if we have a look at the map, you can see my base area is this area over here, and we can see some very marked issues through here, and there's also a little bit around here and through here, but it's nowhere near as much of a problem. In fact, in some places it's just random chunks where it's done it. So yeah, it really has me a little confused. I have done a little bit of exploring around the map just to get an idea of how bad things are. So what I've decided to do is I have actually spent a little bit of time. It's only been a fraction for you guys, but for me I've actually spent quite a lot of time grinding to get an idea of how things work and get a decision on how to go ahead. So what I've been doing is I've been working on figuring out some of the mechanics of the mod pack and how things work. And one of the most critical problems that I've had to deal with is working out what I can actually do to protect myself, because the mobs that grief grief almost everything. There are only a very limited number of blocks in the game that creepers don't literally target. Stone brick is one of them, but stone brick takes a little bit of effort to get at the moment for me because I don't have much in the way of automation, and you can only carry small stuff around. So I've been experimenting with walls to find out how high they need to be. I've been experimenting with other things like the cactus here and water streams to see exactly what will hurt mobs and what won't. Obviously something's blown up there, but I mean that's a repairable damage as opposed to massive holes all the way through, my trees all destroyed, which is what can happen really easily, because if you've got light and other blocks down, once you've got a breach, they just come in and destroy everything, and there's not much you can do about it early in the game. So over here you can see the walls aren't anywhere near as high, but there's nothing really going on in there, such as me most of the time, to cause a problem. The same over here. If I put down wood, it'll just get obliterated, but if I use logs, then it's another kettle of fish altogether. They will tend to leave it alone. If they can't see the torches, they won't come looking for it. Same with farmland. They will actively destroy farmland. So I've thrown some grapes in here as an experiment, and for some unknown reason, even though they've got light, I'm not getting any growth out of them, which is a little bit of a worry. See, they're all showing 0% growth. But anyway, that's another issue. So I better eat again quickly, otherwise we're going to be in a bad way. Alright, let's seal this back up, because yep, if one creeper gets in there, it's going to see those torches and it's just going to go boom. And it's not just the normal creatures, the ones that are really destructive, the ones that really annoy me, are these things. The mechanic that puts down the water source and then surrounds it in a silverfish cobblestone is really quite cool. It's a brilliant idea, but it's a nightmare when it comes to griefing, because you've got to basically destroy the whole thing, and you've got to deal with the cobblestone, with the silverfish at the same time. And look, at the end of the day, it's just painful. It's not difficult, it's just bloody painful, and I may even turn that particular creeper off. I'll deal with holes in my walls, I'll deal with half of my stuff blown up to a certain degree, but just dealing with that crap on top of it is, yeah, it's just a little bit too much. So what I've been doing is I've been clearing land. I have been getting an idea of how things spawn, what is safe and what isn't safe, what sort of things I can use. Something as simple as a doorway can be a pain in the ass. I've come across a couple of options now, but cactus is particularly useful because they don't grief it, so I can use it as a door and it's not too painful. I haven't worked out if there are any actual doors that don't get targeted yet. I'll worry about that at another time. But the wall here has basically allowed me to get some trees in. The trees have given me a supply of fruit, and the fruit has gone a long way to making my food situation a lot better. And I can expand this outside, because once the tree's grown, they don't grief it. They just grief the saplings. You put a sapling down and you'll come back and find a massive hole in the ground. Oops. So, what have I been up to? We'll have a quick look down here, and you'll see that we've got some massive tunnels, and that's basically me just mining out stone, because I can't mine much of anything else. I haven't done a lot in the way of progress because I wanted to save that, but I have had a need for a massive amount of stone to build those walls. Now, can I go through this? Yeah, I can't. Okay. I'd forgotten about that. I made this little water elevator before I found some lily pads. So yeah, just massive tunnels. And it's amusing because you can hear them above you, and I'm down just deep enough that they don't actually come after me down here. But that's about as far as it goes. Down here I've made myself a little fishing thing in this area here. I can basically pop down here and fish, but with that, like that, I haven't had any issues with griefing yet, and I'm hoping that's mostly because they're in the water and that's stopping the explosions. We've got a branch running off in there which I've explored. We've got a branch running off down there which I've explored. And there is a massive dungeon under here. It goes in both directions. If you look down here, you'll see that all of this below is another level of the dungeon, and it continues on and on and on. But again, all of this tunneling has been me getting an idea of exactly what I can and can't do, and finding out exactly what's mineable, which at the moment is virtually nothing. So let's head back, have a snack while we move, and I'll show you what else I have upstairs, and then we'll see where we go from there. It does look like one of the options for getting established is definitely to build upwards. I've found that the best way to move around outside, provided you've got enough food on you, because that can be really tricky, is to take sand, which doesn't get targeted by mobs, use that to pillar up 32 blocks, put a little cap around the top so that they can't see you, and that is what allowed me to explore the surrounding terrain. And I would literally just sit overnight and wait for it to come through. I probably could mine down, but mining down doesn't give me any major advantages at the moment, other than more stone and the occasional bit of copper and other bits and pieces, and you run the risk of running into gas pockets while you're down there, and the last thing I want to be doing is exploring and picking up interesting bits and pieces and suddenly finding myself exploded, because recovery from death is really, really painful. The food situation is massively improved, and this is what I've done here. This area is walled in. I can't do this below ground because if the plants can't see the sun, they won't grow. The torches are to stop stuff spawning, mostly on the top level of the wall. Actually, I'm not too worried about light in here, but you've got to make a wall 5 high before you can put a half slab on top of it. Otherwise the creeper will just come up and leap up and explode the top, because it targets the slab, and take a massive hole out of your wall, and then everything comes inside and destroys your crops. So yeah, you don't really have much choice, but this seems to work, and I'll be able to expand this sideways to expand the farm, which I'm probably going to need to do. Now I've got decent amounts of wheat and barley for making bread, and I've discovered that peanuts coupled with the various berries gives me a fairly good early to middle game food. I'll show you how that works, in fact. So with the right equipment, oops, wrong chest, you can make these peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. And to make the peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, actually let's bring up the recipe for you. You need peach jelly or any other of about 16 different types of jam that you can make with fruits and berries. You need bread, you need peanut butter, and you need a cutting board. Now, I've managed to pick up 3 random iron ingots, either dropping from mobs, I believe. I don't think I got anything out of chests, to be honest. And you need one of those to make the cutting board. And let's bounce back. And oops. Oop, not that one. I'll get it right yet. Give me the recipe. What's going on? Having one of those moments, am I? Give me the recipe for peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Oh, my keys have been reset. I'll have to fix that in a minute. Okay, so peanut butter, you need peanuts, and they just go through a juicer to give you peanut butter, and the peanut butter itself is a snack food that you can eat, so that's not too bad. It doesn't give much in the way of hunger, but it does heal half a heart, so you can eat a few of those before it runs out. And then the jelly, you need fruit, you need a saucepan, you need a juicer, and you need sugar, which gives you the jelly. And the saucepan itself needed another iron. And then finally, you put them all together. To make the bread, it's a little bit of a pain. It's not the standard recipe, so you actually have to make dough, and the dough you smelt to get bread, but the dough needs to be basically made up, and you do that by making flour, adding it to salt and water in a mixing bowl, and the actual you rotten thing the actual flour itself needs wheat or barley or rice or a few of the other ingredients put through a mortar and pestle. But at the end of the day, the peanut butter and jelly sandwich, if you look at the bottom of the tooltip that comes up when I hold that down, they heal 4 hearts and also give you about 3.5 hearts worth of saturation. They also, they heal 4 haunches of hunger and 3.5 hearts of saturation. They also heal about a heart and a half of health damage as well. So they're actually fairly easy to make once you've got the basics. You just need a supply of salt, which you're going to get from mining, a decent enough supply of grain, and some berries and some fruit trees. There might be other alternative things that I could be making, and I'll probably have a look at burgers and other things once I get a proper animal farm going, but that will do for now, because what I can do, and because of the variety issue with the food and the fact that you've got to eat so much stuff, where do you belong? Peanuts, potatoes, oh, that's full. I'll have to cook a few more of those up. They go somewhere else. Apples, peaches, and raspberries. Because of the variety issue, the fact that you've got to eat so many different foods, otherwise you don't actually gain any hunger back, berries and fruits actually work really well. You can eat the morsels by themselves, just the fruit. You can juice them to get strawberry juice. You can add in snow to get smoothies. So that basically gives you quite a big range, and then on top of that you can turn them into jam for the peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. So if I've got a decent quantity of fruits on trees and growing down in the garden down there, I can mix it up and actually keep myself in a situation. So you'll see a lot of these, say, eaten 5 times out of the last 30 foods. So now you only get 80% value and 0 hunger. But I've always generally got a few that are not eaten recently, so I'm always going to get full value out of them as long as I mix them up a bit. So that's the situation that we're in. Thank you, Rain, much appreciated. So I can continue on here and deal with the ugly chunk errors that are close by. I can take what I've learned and move from here to somewhere else, scout out, find an area that has a nice mix of biomes that I need. And I need snow for smoothies. I need sand because it's just such a useful material and it doesn't get griefed. And I need somewhere that is going to give me a forest and a few other bits and pieces and some flat land to work with. I can work off this design, or I can go vertical and build something that goes straight up into the air, which will deal with a lot of the spawn problems. But I'm not sure whether I really want to do that because it's kind of an easy way out. Building the defences down on the ground level, certainly it's a little bit more challenging, but it's also a lot of fun. And that guy down there's got a fishing rod, and I'm very lucky I'm out of range, otherwise he would just yank me straight off here. So in fact, let's just go back over to here. And the third alternative, which I must admit, it tempts me a lot, is to start afresh. Now that I've got an idea of what I have to deal with and what I can do to survive, starting fresh in a brand new world is another possibility. Now the problem with that is that this particular mod pack is due for an update. It may get a full update still within 1.6.4, although that seems to be looking less likely from what I've seen on the forum. Or it may actually wait and come out as a 1.7 version. And I am tempted to actually restart. So at the moment, I'm not sure whether I should or I shouldn't, whether I should just continue on with this as it is or not. So I'm going to throw it out to you guys who are actually watching and see what you think. I'm going to continue playing and recording because I'm going to play on for a little while here, experiment with a few more things. One of the things that I have done is managed to pick up some clay and some gravel and some sand, and I've got that, and that will allow me to get these small amount of ores that I have managed to pick up actually usable, because I'm still using flint tools at the moment. I really need a Tinker's Construct smeltery to be able to move on from here. So I'm going to do that anyway, and I'm going to record it, and we'll decide over the next few episodes whether we continue on from here or whether we take everything that we've learned and throw all of this away and start off afresh and see how we go from there. In the meantime, thanks for joining me. Hope you liked the video. Take care of yourselves, everybody, and ciao for now.